attendees of my annual Shelley's Cards fundraiser event. Thank you so much for attending this annual event. This is my third year to do this. This is an event I do in my sister Michelle's memory, and I choose different things to use the funds from this event for. This year, the money that is raised from this particular event will be going to my parents' medical fund. My mom needs some expensive dental care, and they've had quite a few hospital bills and other things going on this year that they need some assistance with. And earlier in the year, I had hoped to use the funds from this event for the City of Hope walk, which my sister and I are doing in Arizona in November. But as the summer progressed, I kept thinking of something that my sister had said to me. Well, at least I heard her say to me the day after she passed. I saw a white butterfly in my backyard, and I heard my sister's voice say, "Take care of our parents, Deb." And so I kind of reflected back on that and decided that we would use the funds from the fundraiser to help them again this year. So I want to thank you for participating and helping my family. It's greatly appreciated. Let's get to it. So let's start out with some door prizes. There are 13 of you attending virtually this year. So you'll see I've got you all in here. And I've got some fun door prizes. I'm just going to put you in my little box here and then flip things around a little bit. And I usually turn away so that there's no looking and I don't see who I'm pulling out. Okay, we're going to start out with this fun stamp set called Filled with Happiness. It's a great one for all kinds of different occasions. And that is going to go to Susan Marie. So this will come in your kit, your door prizes. If you win one today, it'll be included in your kit. All right, congratulations, Susan. All right, then I have this beautiful azure blue ribbon. It's got some little silver edging on it, so be really fun for Christmas cards with snowflakes or any color, any kind of card really that you're doing a blue in, but I think it would be really nice with snowflakes. Okay, let's see who's going to win that. And that is going to Chris. Congratulations, Chris. Okay. And now I have a little adhesive packet, a sheet of dimensionals, a sheet of glue dots, and some of that fabulous tear tape. And that is going to Kathy Tidwell. Okay, and now I have some Loveliest Layers decorative masks. These are really fun to use with to add some backgrounds to your projects, and they work really well with a sponge, a dauber. My favorite would be the blending brush, but a brayer would work too. And this is going to go to my fabulous sister, Christy. Okay, now I have another stamp set. It's called Softly Sophisticated. It's got some fall leaves in it and some nice sentiments. You're in my thoughts. I really appreciate you. And this is going to Ellie. Okay, so look for those door prizes in your package if you won one. Let me just set this all to the side so I can get that out of my way here. All right, let's talk a little bit about the kit. You should have a PDF that tells you, shows you the pictures of everything, and it should also give you some ideas of some things to pull off your shelf to complete the projects. Everybody got a little extra set of bling that you will use some in the project. One of Shelley's favorite colors is this kind of indigo blue. She called it Dodger blue. She loved the LA Dodgers. Anyway, this is in your package, so everyone got a little present from Shelley, and you will use some in class, so you'll want to get that out. And then just the basics, glue, dimensionals, glue dots, And then look at each project and decide what you want to use for inks. If you don't have exact inks, I gave you some substitute ideas. I like to use my Take-A-Pick tool. That's helpful for moving this little bling over and some of these other little things. All right, so that's kind of what you need to get going there. Remember, you can watch the video whenever you want. It'll be available to you. It is a private video right now, so you have to have the link to get into it. You can't just get on my YouTube channel. I'll probably release that later in the year, but I do keep it private for those that have paid and attended in the beginning when I release it. So let me show you one of the cards. I'm not going to go over the big stories because you got those via email or via the Facebook page. But my sister loved the beach. And then there is that color, that indigo blue, or this one is called Starry Night in the Stampin' Up! World. Now this project is lovely, and I hope you guys appreciate it. It took about 8 hours to prep all of the kits because of all the die cutting. So the stamp set that I used is called Seaside Wishes. It's in the annual catalog. And then the Seaside Wishes die, which is what these came from. And then there's also a folder that goes with these, a 3D hybrid folder. It cuts and embosses. So that is the first project. It's going to be easy for you because I did all the legwork. All you got to do is stamp and stick. So when you open up your kit, be kind of careful because there's lots of little bits and pieces. You want to pull it out, and then you can start by gluing the embossed layer onto the very vanilla cardstock. And you know what? I just realized I did not give away one door prize. So I'm going to do that as soon as I get through making this card. All right, so then you just kind of center it up however you would like it. It's about 1/4 of an inch less than the card base. All right, and then I'm going to ink up my sentiment, and I used one of the sentiments from the stamp set, and I'm using my Starry Sky ink spot. So if you have that, if you were a Paper Pumpkin subscriber last year, it came in one of our kits, so you can grab it out. If you don't, you might have the big pad if you joined the In Color Club. And if you don't have that, one of the blues would work, basic black, obviously. All right, I got that. All right, now we just got to layer it up, and then you can just kind of figure out how you want to layer this up. Now, these little seashells do have maybe some extra little pieces in there, and that's where your Take-A-Pick tool might come in real handy to punch those out. We tried to get most of them out, but there might still be a little bit in there. Like I said, after 8 hours, we were getting kind of burned out. So on this, I just put a little glue, little tiny dab. If you've got the fine liquid glue pen, that works good. You don't really need a whole lot, just enough to anchor it down. And we'll put a little more back here. And then I'm going to turn that a little bit because the dye's a little messed up in there. This goes on here. Now I use dimensionals to pop that up. So a couple of dimensionals on the back of that. Okay, and then you can either use a little tiny, tear off a little tiny strip of dimensional on that little starfish, or you can use a little bit of glue. I'm going to use a little bit of the dimensional. I see I forgot to bring my scissors out. That might have been helpful. Okay, now we're going to go over here and get all these gems and put them on. Change out my tool real quick. Okay. And you can use whatever gems you want in here. You can use some of the large ones. You can use some of the small ones. If you want to put a pop of gold in, you can. Pop of gold might look cute on that. It might stick out a little bit more. Or even the clear one. I'm going to go with the clear just so we can see how that looks. Because the blue tends to just kind of get buried in the foil paper there. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think the gold would look really good too. All right, so that is our first project. This was the door prize that I forgot to draw for. So somebody's going to get some glue, my favorite adhesive. And I am looking away, and that is going to Marcia. All right. Sorry about that, but hey, we made it right. Okay, next project. Let me just switch out the boxes really quick. Okay, and we have our citrus bloom project. Michelle loved eating healthy. She loved the farm to table venues. She loved picking fruit off of trees at farms or in her yard. She grew lemons and limes in her at her house in Aurora Grande, California, and she had a huge garden in Tennessee. So she even grew watermelons and cantaloupe in Tennessee. All right, so let's grab out our package, and then again, you want to be careful because there are a lot of little squares in there, and then you've got a few different layers that you've got to deal with. Now on this one, I use the Citrus Blooms stamp set, and I just used You're the Best Kind of Person, that stamp. And then Peach Pie is my ink, but any kind of a lighter yellow or peachy color or orangey color will work. The little flowers came from the coordinating die set from the Citrus Blooms. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to kind of want to, this is almost like a little bit of a puzzle. Let's get this stamping done first, and then we can put the pad away and really focus on the layout. Okay, these little squares are 1 1/4 inch, and I used a square punch, but you could use a square die if you have one that size, or you can cut them by hand. This project is a really great way to use up those little scraps of DSP that we have that's too pretty to throw away, that you don't know what to do with. And you need 4 of each in kind of coordinating patterns or colors. All right, we'll glue that together so that's all down and done. Looks like I might be missing a flower somewhere. Yes, I tell you to be careful when you take your things out, and then, oh, there we go. Okay. All right, let's set these things over here so they don't get lost, because you know how I am. I'm kind of a messy stamper. Okay, we're not going to glue anything down yet. My advice is to lay it all out, and then you've got a kind of an idea. So you can start with either the orange or the yellow. We'll start with yellow. And then you kind of want them to be hanging in the right direction. Or maybe you don't. You could be whimsy if you want. It's up to you. And now we have another orange one. And a yellow one. Another orange one. An orange one here, and a yellow one here. All right, once you kind of get them all laid out, then you can glue them down individually. And I kind of just leave them. You need about maybe 1/8 of an inch around the outside. If you can eyeball it, I mean, it's probably not going to be exactly perfect, but we aren't trying to be Hallmark, remember. This is handcrafted, homemade. I think we're always our own worst critic when it comes to our projects. The older I've got, the less I worry about that stuff. All right, 2 more and we will be done. Yay. One thing about the liquid glue that I like is you do have a little time to move. So if you get it laid down and it isn't quite right, okay, we did okay. If it isn't quite right though, you can move it around if you do it right away. And then the other thing you want to always remember about the liquid glue is you want to stay a little, maybe about 1/4 to 1/2 inch in, because the glue does spread and it will spread out onto the white layer if you have gone too far over to the edge. Okay, so we've got that. Yay. All right, let's glue this to the peach pie card base. And whoops. Okay, that's going to be our front now. Got a little bit of glue on the corner, but no problem. Okay, now, okay, I'm going to have to grab my scissors. I don't know why I didn't grab those before. Because I want to pop these little flowers up. I try to be as organized as I can before I start the video, but what can I say? Okay, so now on these, you've got some choices here. You can use the yellow ones. Those would look great, and you can use the clear ones. So I'm going to use the yellow. The other thing that, if you have these paper snips and you don't have one of these little take-a-pick tools, you can use the edge of your paper snips to move the embellishments off. It's not quite as easy as it is with the take-a-pick, but it does work. And then one thing to keep in mind with these embellishments, the clear ones, you can actually, if you want to, you can color them. So you can change the color so they'll coordinate with any project. And you can use a stamp and blend to do that, or you can use a Sharpie. Either one of those will work. They're permanent and they stay on there. I'm sure there's other tools on the market that would work as well if you have a different type of marker. The regular Stampin' Up! Water-based markers will not work. It'll just wipe off. Okay, I think Michelle would love this card. When I saw it in the new annual catalog when it came out, one of the first things I bought was that, because it just reminded me of her, and I knew I wanted to do a project with it during this event. Okay, the next one is this lavender card, and it's got a butterfly, and many of you know that butterflies really remind me of my sister, and I feel like she sometimes sends them to let me know she's doing okay. So I also use the painted lavender dies, and the stamp set is called Unbound Love. There's lots of little different sentiments in here. You just need to find a small sentiment. And then I use the sketched butterfly dies for the little die. And then the Unbounded Love dies is a circle. But there's lots of different circles and places to get butterflies if you want to make this in the future. This is the Fern embossing folder. And let me pull this out. The color that I used is Gorgeous Grape. But if you don't have that, a green would work really well. This is Shy Shamrock, one of the new in colors. I know a lot of you guys have that one. If you don't have that one, any kind of green would probably work. Obviously, black would work. Um, a different purple, even something that coordinates with the butterfly a little bit. I'm going to punch, there's still a few little holes that need to get punched out of the lavender. So this project, my sister was really into essential oils and she loved all herbs. Her favorite was rosemary, but she liked lavender too. And so that is kind of where I got the inspiration on this one, was just her love for herbs and essential oils. She got me started on essential oils when my husband became sick many years ago. She sent me the first diffuser and some lavender and some other oils. So when I saw this lavender sprig, I thought of her immediately. And then, of course, this Faith, she was a very faithful woman. Let's see here. So on this one, you're just going to want to look for a small little sentiment that will fit in there. And this one, this is from the Unbounded Love too. It says, "You're a true blessing." So I'm going to use that one just so I have a different card. I like to send out a lot of cards to thank people for things, but I also like to send out a lot of faith-based cards when people are going through something. And so I like having those on hand. Okay, so that goes in the circle. And now we're just ready. I tied the bow for you, and we're just ready to glue down and assemble this one. And the kind of nice thing about this card is if you have a lot of 12 by 12 cardstock, it makes up really easy. The card is 3 by, I think this is 3 by 11, but you can do 3 by 6. It fits in a regular letter envelope that you can get anywhere. Okay, now we're going to lay the lavender and the greenery on. Put the greenery on first and then put the lavender on top. And again, just a little dab of glue here and there. Oops, that's probably a little too much. Pull some of that off and use it somewhere else. The liquid glue holds really well, and it works best if when you're not using it, you put the lid back on, even if it's only for a second. And it likes to be stored with like this, so the glue's right down in the bottom. A shot glass works really good. A baby food jar, any little thing that you can get so it's just sitting like this when you're not using it. And even if you're just, like you saw me, I put the lid right back on. I just try to have that habit of always having the lid on, even if it's only going to be on for a second, because what happens is the glue dries up down at the end, and then it gets clogged, and then you don't like it, and then it's not your friend. So I want the glue to be my friend always because I love it, and it's inexpensive. It goes a long way. It's got that moving time. Whoops. That's not cool. Now I'll have glue on there. Now my stems are a little bit long, so if they don't get covered by this, you might want to trim them, which mine are going to be covered, so we're going to be fine. We'll put a couple dimensionals on the back of the circle. That on there. All right, now decide which side you want of the butterfly. Make sure all the little holes are clipped out. You can either use a dimensional or a little bit of glue. I think I'll use a little bit of a dimensional. So just trim a little tiny piece off there. If you bend the wings up a little bit, and figure out where you want to lay it. All right, now it's time to put that bow down. So we've got the baker's twine, and you can take a glue dot and then kind of put it at the end of the stems so it kind of looks like a bouquet there, and lift the glue dot off. Put that on there. You can trim that however you want. And then we'll just get our gems. And I use the yellow ones on this one, but you can use whatever ones you want. See, okay, one goes in the middle of the bow. Oops. And then one goes with the butterfly. And then one at the, just on the, wherever you kind of want it on the circle. And you can put more on there because you have a whole stack of them. So do your thing. All right. Wow, 3 down already. Woohoo. Are you having fun? I hope so. Okay, this one is a birthday card. My sister was the best at celebrating birthdays. If you were going to be with her, I'm going to turn this over because I got some glue on it. If you were going to be with her on your birthday or her birthday, there was always a fabulous cake that she would make sure you had a cake or cupcakes, and she really made sure that Beth's birthdays were special. If you weren't with her, you always got a card and a gift. You know, she always called or text. So on this one, this is a card. This is not an original design. The other ones were, but this one I saw on Pinterest, I believe. I don't remember who the artist was, but I love it. So this is the bow punch, and yours will come all punched, but I want to show you how I did it. So you'll just stick it in, and you'll see I kind of went off the edge on one. So let's start at the top. So we're going to have one. Yes, let's start at the top, Deb. All right, this is going to be our top. We're going to have one full one, and that actually ended up being our bottom. And then we're going to do a couple kind of random almost off the grid. You do 4 of them total. And they'll all be a little unique. And then this one down here. You don't need anything in the middle because this is going to go across. And we will have to, I don't really like that, so I'm going to actually move that like that. That's much better. And then this goes across here. All right, then you have this. This is the hexagon, heartfelt hexagon punch. So you've got a petunia pop one and a white one. And so hang on to the white one. We're going to stamp on it. And then these two we cut in half and we layer behind that. But we're going to stamp first so that we don't have anything rocking on us. And this stamp set is from the Heartfelt Hexagon. It came out last year, and it's in the current catalog. So we're going to stamp Let's Eat Cake on the white hexagon punch. And then we're going to stamp Happy Birthday on the inside. And I use the Tuxedo Black Memento pad. If you don't have that, Petunia Punch would work. Summer Shady would work. Okay, let's glue these on the back of this because that'll give it a little bit of time to set up while we're finishing the card. So when you get yours, the punching will already be done because I don't know if everybody has the bow punch. And you could definitely use a different punch from your stash to recreate this project in the future if you want to. Okay, we'll let that set over there. And then we'll glue this down. Okay, we decided we were going to go like that. Okay. And it looks kind of like a train wreck, to be honest with you right now. But once you get it all together, it's one of those projects, we've done them before, where they look kind of ugly until everything is put together. And then you're like, oh, that's great. Okay, now we've got a strip of the petunia pop. Don't these colors look great together? I hope you like them. Okay, and then this I'm going to pop up with a couple of dimensionals. Oops, I think that moved. Yeah, a little bit, not too bad. Looks like it moved more than it. Okay. Okay, now you, if you do this at home, you'll have extra pieces, so you can always add those to something. I did include in your packet the full ones, and if you want to put them on in the inside of the card or on something else, you can. Or you can just throw them away, whatever you would like to do. All right, here we go. Okay, now bring in our gems. And I've got one on each side. You can add more. That's the fun thing about having all these gems. You can do your thing. I kind of am a less is more person, but I know some people like lots of bling. So whatever you like is what you need to do. Okay, all right. So there we go. That's project number 4. And now we're on to the Fun Fold texture Latin card. Okay, so it looks like this. It's a Z card. So it opens like that. And what you're going to want to be careful with is when you glue this white layer, that you don't get any glue over here, as well as this piece right here. So you want to be real careful with that. Okay, so when you open your packet, you're going to find it's all embossed for you already. You don't need to worry about anything there. This is the new eyelet embossing folder. Kind of a fun one. So let's start by gluing, and then we should probably start by stamping so it can dry for a few minutes. Now I used on this one, this is an old paper pumpkin set. I love the paper pumpkin sentiments. So both of these actually came from a paper pumpkin kit, the Forget-Me-Nots and then the Note of Hope. So you can look through your paper pumpkin stamp sets if you want, or any flower. I chose the Forget-Me-Not because that represents Michelle. She had a really beautiful Forget-Me-Not tattoo on her back that she liked to show off when she was barrel racing. So, and then she was born in the state of Alaska, as I was. And that's the state flower. And if you participated in the drawing that I had about 2 weeks ago for the event, then you know that. You know that. And congratulations to the winner, whoever won those beautiful balmy blue blends. Those are gorgeous. I also want to take a moment here and thank some of my team and friends who donated door prizes to the event. I really appreciate that. When you're doing something like this, you're trying to keep your costs down so that you have as much money as possible to go into the actual fundraiser. So I did have a couple of team members, and Tina and Christy, and then I had a friend, Teddy, who donated some things. And I hope I didn't forget anybody, but I really appreciate that. It really helped a lot. I didn't have to really purchase too many door prizes this time. Okay, that is perfect. So I'm going to make this one a thank you card because I seem to need a lot of those. Okay, we're going to let that set for a minute. Now you can color those in with colored pencils, markers, blends, or don't color them in. That's completely up to you. I will encourage you to use, if you're going to color, to use a Memento or a permanent type ink so that you don't have any bleeding. Now this is the part where we want to be careful. We want to make sure we don't glue too far over. So it's probably about maybe, I don't know, not quite half, a third. And then just be careful when you put it down that you don't run it over and get any glue on the inside there. Okay. All right, and then it opens like that. Okay, we are going to let that sit for a minute. I'm going to let that sit. So I'm going to grab my color pencils. And again, like I said, you can use whatever you want to color. I've been using my colored pencils more lately. So you want a blue, a green, and a yellow. And I'm not going to color the whole thing. I think that'll take forever. How about if I just color one of them in? You guys can get the rest. So blue on the outside. If you want to get real fancy, you could grab a blender pen and actually do some watercoloring with your watercolor pencils, or you could just use them like I am. Or like I said, use the blends or a marker. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in the center. We're going to put the yellow bling in the middle, so this might not be quite as needed. Okay, and then the stems. Okay, now, so on this, I'm not going to attach this last one, but I put the blue one in first, and then I kind of came out with my layout, and it's a bit of a little like a puzzle too, so you want to kind of lay it out and look at it before you just start slapping it down. All right, so that goes like that. And then this one, you can either glue down with a glue or you can use a dimensional. It's your choice. I'm just going to stick a dimensional there. And then the same with this one. And I'm not going to glue this one down because I don't want to try to color it over all this texture. And then what you want to do is bring your bling over. And again, you know, you can put however much you want on it. I put 3 on each flower, but you can put more if you want. And it might look really cute to add a couple to there. So I think I'll do that. And I think the blue looks okay. So okay. So I will finish that up off camera, but I think you've got the idea now. That's a fun card to receive in the mail. Tons of texture. Okay, our last project. Last but not least. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had gotten them all. I kind of got a mess. You guys would crack up if you looked over here. Saw my desk right now. All right, so we got this little treat holder. And we're going to make this up. And there's a little Reese's Thin that goes inside here. And what I've been doing with these little treat holders, it kind of started it in the pandemic, is when we go out to eat or grab a cup of coffee or somewhere where you tip, we'll usually stick our tip inside with the little treat. And I would like to ask that you use this on October 4th. October 4th will be Shelley Kindness Day. So if you want to make this up and get it all ready and then give it to somebody on October 4th. So some ideas of people to give this to on October 4th might be the the post person, somebody at the post office, someone that delivers your mail, somewhere where you're getting coffee, maybe the checker at the grocery store, somewhere where you're having dinner, a coworker, a neighbor that maybe you'd like to give a little something to. There's lots of different little things you can think about, I'm sure, to give this away. So I think it would just be really fun to remember Shelley on the 4th of October by doing a little random act of kindness. And I don't know if you follow my Facebook page or you know that I do random acts of kindness every 4th of the month in my sister's memory. That's one thing that has really helped me remember her and just kind of keep her kindness going. So you're going to have a little ledge here, and you're going to want to glue that down. This is one that has a boo-boo on it. Yours will be much nicer than these. I had a couple that I cut a little short, so they'll still work, but I'm not going to give you that challenge. This die is called the mini pocket envelope die, and unfortunately it is retired. I know a lot of you guys got it last year because I've used it a lot. And they didn't have anything quite like it this year, so usually I don't use a lot of retired product, but that's what you got to do sometimes. So, okay, we'll pop this in, and then you'll have a piece of ribbon, and your ribbon might be a different color. There's so many different colors that go with this project, so I just used what I had. So you might get pink, you might get yellow, you might get blue, you might get peach. Just tie it around. It kind of helps hold it all together. I got to put a little more glue in there. And then you can trim it. And the stamp that I'm using is from the Charming Duck Pond, and I used Have a Lovely Day, but you could use any kind of sentiment that you have. Oh, I just realized this is good. See, it's always good that I do this on camera. I did not put any of the circles in. You guys have the candy in your kit, and you have the little envelope, but there's no circles. So I will be making circles this morning to get those into the kits. In the meantime, I'll just steal this one off of here and show you this finished one. So you're going to have a little white circle, I promise, and you're going to stamp your little sentiment in there. You can do a lovely day or whatever you have, thank you, or thinking of you, or, you know, whatever you use it for, to give to. Find something that's appropriate. And then if you're doing it in a restaurant or for your barista, you just tuck your little tip back in there. So it's kind of a nice little surprise. Okay, that is it. If you have any questions about your kits or any problems or anything like that, please reach out to me as soon as possible so I can make that right. Again, thank you so much for attending. Just one more little thing. I wanted to make sure that all of you guys knew that this month, any orders placed from the mini catalog or the annual catalog or the online exclusives, all of my commissions are also going into the fundraiser this year. So I have a pretty lofty goal. The first year we did the fundraiser, we raised a little over 500. And then year 2, it was 700. And this year I set my goal at 1,000. So it's a little bit lofty, but we do have more attendance than we've had in the past 2 years. And adding my sales commission into it, we'll be close. I think we'll hit it. But if you do order this month, I just wanted to let you know that the commission is going into the fund. So that's another way to help add to the fund. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. Have a really good time with your kit. And again, from myself and my family, thank you very much for your support. Take care. Until next time. Bye.